Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. We begin with news of a deadly Boko Haram attack in Borno. 4 aid workers have been killed in a fresh attack by the Islamist sect on Ran local government area in the northeast state. The death toll was confirmed by UN spokeswoman Samantha Newport. She also revealed that 1 aid worker was injured while another is missing. The attack was targeted at the internally displaced persons camp in the state. Many of the IDPs were also injured during the attack. The National Emergency Management Agency in the state has also confirmed the attack. Nigeria's Minister Mansur Dan Ali and all service chiefs have met with troop commanders in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, to check the progress on efforts to locate the 110 girls missing from a Boko Haram attack in Yobe State. The defense spokesperson, Brigadier General John Again, told newsmen after the meeting that discussions were focused on reviewing the entire counterinsurgency operations, including the search for the Dapchi school girls. He said the military chiefs also resolved that operational strategy for the search for the girls would no longer be discussed in the public. A Nigerian senator, Dino Melaye, on Thursday escaped arrest by members of Nigeria's police anti-robbery squad, SARS. The SARS officials had barricaded the Federal High Court premises where the senator was standing trial for alleged false information. It is not yet clear why the policemen wanted to arrest the senator, but the Abuja Police Command have denied involvement in the matter. The senator had earlier been granted bail for 100,000 naira by the court. He was also asked to provide one surety.
As prosecutors, we look at the merits of the case, and we've crossed all the T's and dotted the I's, and we've come up with the charge. And it may interest you to note that the court granted the defendant bail, which is normal because we are prosecutors, not persecutors. And of course, we are interested in seeing that we have a sane society. And therefore, we are not looking at the magnitude of the offense. But once there is an offense established, the law is no respecter of your height, your status, will bring you to justice. And that is why we are here.
The plea of the defendant was taken. We also moved his application for bail. The bail was granted. You've all had the terms. One surety, civil servant of level 14, bond of 100,000, and been adjourned to 17th of May for trial.
I was already prepared to go to prison. I have my tissue paper, I have my toothpaste, I have my brush. I also bought a bottle of Coke in case there's no Coke there, but justice shall prevail.
In a move fast becoming the order of the day, 144 Nigerians have again returned from Libya with the assistance of the International Organization for Migration and the European Union. The migrants arrived at the country on Thursday after failed attempts to cross over to Europe from Libya. According to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, the returnees include 79 males, 54 females, and 11 children. The returnees were each given 35,000 naira to settle down in Nigeria, while some state governors also pledged to support them.
We have 144 returnees, consisting of 61 female and 83 male, aboard a charter flight from Libya, financed by European Union. We are also receiving them for reintegration and rehabilitation this time around. So that is a paradigm shift from what used to be obtained in the past. And the effort is not just starting, it will go on in Port Harcourt, as you are aware. Returnees are being received by NEMA in Port Harcourt simultaneously and in Lagos. So it's a quantum leap from what we used to have in the past. I can confirm to you that a lot of state governments are putting measures in place. Edo State government has a robust plan, and a lot of them are being reintegrated in Benin City. Delta State is doing the same thing. That I can confirm to you. So they are not going back. We are making progress. We are making progress, but in terms of magnitude, yes, we can say 1 or 2, maybe going back. I am not contesting that, but in relative terms, a lot of achievements have been made under this regime.
The Lagos State government says it is determined to rid the state of courters' activities following the arraignment of 70 suspects on Thursday. A statement from the State Ministry of Justice revealed that the suspected courtists were arraigned before the Ogudu Magistrate Court for conspiracy to commit a felony and for holding a meeting of an unlawful society suspected to be Aye Confraternity. The 70 suspects with ages ranging between 19 and 40 years were charged with 3 counts by the Directorate of Public Prosecution in the ministry. They were earlier arrested by officers of the State Police Command who acted promptly on a tip-off given by members of the public on Friday, where the suspects were caught holding a meeting at Elemoro area in Ajah axis of the state. The Northern Governors Forum have suggested ranching as a way of resolving the persistent clashes between farmers and herdsmen in the country. Rising at the end of their meeting on Thursday, the governors also noted that with ranching, there would be significant improvements in the production of dairy products in the north and other parts of the country. In a 5-page communique, the governors also resolved to support the president in tackling the lingering communal clashes occasioned by activities of herdsmen in the country. Kayode Fayemi, Minister of Mines and Steel Development, has reacted to the vote of no confidence which the House of Representatives passed on him. The lawmakers took the action following the absence of Fayemi and his state counterpart Abubakar Buhari at the sectoral debate on the Ajaokuta Steel Complex. But in a statement by Olayinka Oyebode, the minister's media aide, Fayemi said the lawmakers were duly notified of his absence. He also described their action as draconian. The speakers of all state House of Assemblies have asked for devolution of powers to be included in the next round of constitutional amendments. The issue was rejected by both chambers of the National Assembly in the last round of amendments last year. However, the state assemblies have condemned the decision of the federal lawmakers. The chairman of the Speaker of the Houses of Assembly, Abdul Mumin Kamba, disclosed this when he presented the constitutional amendments of the State Assembly to the Senate President, Bukola Saraki. The United States Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, will visit Nigeria next week. As part of his first official visit to Africa, Tillerson will also visit Chad, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Djibouti. The U.S. envoy will meet with leaders in each country, along with African Union leadership based in Addis Ababa. The week-long visit will last from March 6 to 13, 2018. President Muhammadu Buhari says he is pleased with the economic progress recorded by the country under his administration. Buhari, who was speaking at a meeting with a Qatari business delegation led by the former Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa at the State House Abuja, said the rise in foreign private investment is proof of the success of his administration's economic agenda. He also described the federal government's economic agenda as one designed to move the country from over-reliance on crude oil and food importation. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government has also assured that the new national minimum wage will match the present economic realities in the country. The assurance was given by Boss Mustafa, the secretary to the government of the Federation, at a dinner and award night organized to mark the 40th anniversary of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC. He assured that the federal government is conscious of the need to bring wages to meet economic realities. The new minimum wage structure is expected to kick off in the third quarter of 2018. Nigerian lawmakers have passed a bill to strengthen the country's anti-corruption war. The Senate on Thursday passed the Federal Audit Service Commission bill to help establish a more independent office of the Auditor General of the Federation. The bill is expected to grant the auditor unlimited access to audit the books of all ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Some of the other functions is to carry out performance audits by ensuring that federal government and its agencies' business is economically, efficiently, and effectively performed.
On TV360, We don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
TV360, providing clarity to issues.
Glad to have you back. The Nigerian government has warned it would prosecute tax evaders who fail to take advantage of the amnesty provided by the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme to regularize their tax profile. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, gave the warning at a VADE stakeholder symposium held in Kaduna State. The minister, according to a statement by her media advisor, also said that the federal government would strictly adhere to the confidentiality clause in the automatic exchange of financial account information in tax matters. The Senate and House of Representatives have deferred over the passage of the bill establishing the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit as an independent entity. The chairman, Senate Committee on Financial Crimes and Anti-Corruption, Chukwuka Otazi, at the plenary on Thursday, raised a point of order accusing the House of non-cooperation and warning that failure to pass the bill ahead of the next Egmont Group meeting would cause a major economic crisis in Nigeria. Among other conditions, the Egmont Group had demanded that the NFRU should be pulled out of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Otazi recalled that Nigeria was suspended from the group at its last general meeting in July 2017 with a threat to expel the country if the unit had not been given autonomy by its next meeting holding on March 11. U.S. oil prices fell on Friday, taking declines to a fourth day as Asian share markets extended a sell-off on Wall Street after news of planned U.S. tariff on steel and aluminium raised fears of a trade war. Brent crude was down 2 cents at $63.81 a barrel, while U.S. crude fell by 11 cents at $60.88 a barrel. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, will hold a dinner on Monday in Houston with U.S. shale firms, the latest sign of the producer group widening talks about how best to tame a global oil glut. The Kenyan police have confirmed 5 officers were killed in an attack by Somalia's Al-Shabaab group earlier on Friday. Al-Shabaab are fighting to topple Somalia's Western-backed central government and establish their own rule based on their strict interpretation of Islamic law. The group also conducts frequent assaults in Kenya, mostly in the region bordering Somalia, to put pressure on the Kenyan government to withdraw its troops from Somalia. Kenya is part of the African Union peacekeeping force, AMISOM, which is defending Somalia's government against Al-Shabaab. Looking at more international stories, looking at sports stories now, Arnold Quadri, Ofyong Edem, Shegun Toriola and Funke Oshonaike have progressed to the knockout stages of the ITTF Africa Top 16 in Kenya. Quadri topped Group 2 with 4 points after winning 3 matches, while Toriola topped Group 4 with 4 points as well. Oshonaike finished on top of Group 2 in the women's singles with 6 points after winning all her matches, and Edem topped Group 4 with 5 points to qualify for the quarterfinal. Quadri battles Ghana's Derek Abrifa in the men's singles, while Toriola faces Congo's Sahid Ido. Neymar will undergo surgery this weekend that will keep him out for up to 3 months, but Brazil's trainer said on Thursday the Paris Saint-Germain striker would definitely be ready for the start of the World Cup in mid-June. The world's most expensive footballer arrived in Brazil on Thursday and will undergo surgery on a fractured metatarsal and a sprained ankle on Saturday. The doctor set to perform the operation said the typical recovery period is 2.5 to 3 months, which would mean Neymar is back playing by mid-May at the earliest, just a month before Brazil kick off their World Cup campaign. Neymar trainer has, however, assured that the 26-year-old would be ready for their opener against Switzerland on June 17. Democratic Republic of Congo striker Cedric Bakambu has become the most expensive African footballer following his €65 million move to Chinese Super League club Beijing Guam from Villarreal. The transfer beat the €56 million Arsenal paid Borussia Dortmund for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang last January. Although Beijing Guam met Bakambu's release clause weeks ago, the deal has only just been completed after they were forced to pay a super tax to Chinese authorities. Rule states that club must pay 100% tax on new signings, but the club managed to negotiate a discount which saved them €5 million. Well, that's it on News Now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.